Hello and welcome. This is 21 Questions by Trivia Tribe. It's a little trivia podcast that I run. My name's Mike van Acker, and over the last 22 years, I've run thousands of trivia shows in pubs and clubs, and now I'm in your phone. I'm glad you're here. Let's go. Question 1. Which company makes Tim Tams, iced Vovos, tiny teddies, and Scotch finger biscuits? That's Arnott's. Arnott's make all of those bikkies. In America, Tim Tams are marketed as Australia's favourite chocolatey cookie. But you can get Tim Tams right around the world, apparently. Look at us go. Question 2. Which is the only vowel not in the word infectious, meaning caused by or capable of being transmitted by infection? The only vowel not in the word infectious is... That's A. Now, did you notice I repeated the question there to give you another second to spell out infectious in your mind? I'm trying to look after you. Question 3. Which British band had hits with So Far Away, Walk of Life, and Romeo and Juliet? It's fair to say at one time or another I have absolutely massacred each of those 3 songs on the guitar, and if you thought the guitar playing was bad, you should have heard the singing. That's question 3. Dire Straits was the answer to that one. Dire Straits. What happened to Mark Knopfler? Where did he go? I know he had was it the Notting Hillbillies? Was that his side project? And his brother was in Dire Straits too. I had a vinyl record of his at one point, but no vinyl record player, so I have no idea if it's any good or not. Anyway, Dire Straits. Question 4 is always a true or false on this podcast. Here we go, true or false. A cat has 32 muscles in each ear. Is that true? Is that false? Now, that's allegedly true. I don't know how you got your cat to sit still long enough so you can count them, but a cat allegedly has 32 muscles in each ear. Question 5. According to the proverb, a bad workman always blames his what? His tools. A bad workman always blames his tools. Question 6. Which word, and it starts with the letter I, is a person who sponsors or supplies entertainment? They are an impresario. Paul McCartney sings about some important impresario has a message for the band in his song Take It Away, I think it was, early 80s, off the Give My Regards to Broad Street album, which had Brian Brown on it. And Ringo. Anywho, we'll move on. Question 7. Which English musical actress... There's a lot of English content today. Look, let's press on. Which English musical actress links the movies The Sound of Music, Mary Poppins, and the Shrek franchise? That would be Julie Andrews, and I think she's a dame. Dame Julie Andrews. After question 7, we do the opening clues for this episode's Who Am I? Today, it's a person. Here we go. Who am I? I was born in 1970 in Portland, Oregon, into a poor family. I began ice skating at age 3. Later in my childhood, I began competing, and I was good, but I was different to the other girls in my sport, who generally came from money and had much nicer costumes than I did. My costumes were often homemade. Now, don't worry too much if you don't know who that is yet, because I will give you lots more clues, and by the end, even if you don't remember her name, you'll absolutely remember what she is, well, I'm going to say infamous for. Question 8, let's press on. Which event in history happened first? The American Civil War or the Eureka Stockade? Now, the answer is the Eureka Stockade. That was in 1854. The American Civil War, 1861 to 1865. Now, I have quite a few listeners in America, so for my American listeners, you should Google the Eureka Stockade, Eureka, E-U-R-E-K-A, Eureka Stockade. It's as close as Australia's ever gone to a civil war. And for my Australian listeners, if you don't know the American Civil War, you should Google that, because it's as close as America's ever gone to a Eureka Stockade. I don't know if that was useful or not. Question 9, music. Which world-famous Australian actor is associated, somewhat shamefully for most Aussies, with the band 30-odd foot of grunt. Sometimes it's grunts, but 30-odd foot of grunts. That is the side project of which actor? It's Russell Crowe. God love him. Look, here's the thing. We have a love-hate relationship with Russell Crowe. He's a New Zealander. We love the New Zealanders over here. Anytime a New Zealander does something good, we claim them as our own. And Russell Crowe is one of those. And we do like his movies. He's very good in Gladiator, and he's done some good movies over a long time. And he's very good fun on Twitter. But most of us cannot take the 30-odd foot of grunt or any of his musical projects all that seriously. Sorry, Rusty. Question 10. Which position in a water polo team is the only one allowed to strike the ball with a clenched fist? I feel like it stands to reason that it's the goalie. I don't know much about water polo, but I do know that the goalie is the only one that can punch the ball. Everyone else has to catch it and pass it and have nice manners while they do it. Not really. Have you ever seen the footage of what's going on under the water in water polo? It is brutal. Brutal. I've been in long-term relationships where I didn't get that much action. I'll probably edit that out. Question 11. True or false? More countries in the world drive forward on the left-hand side of the road than the right. Now, I've worded it that way so no one can go, well, you drive on both sides of the road. You know what I mean? That is, in fact, false. 75 to 78 countries drive on the left, the rest of the world on the right. So about 68% of the world's population drive on the right. The ones that drive on the left, they're mostly the ones with British heritage, like Australia has. Alrighty, question 12, let's press on. In which American state did the Amish first settle? Was it Indiana? Was it Pennsylvania? Was it Ohio? That'd be Pennsylvania. I've been a little bit interested in that because I wrote a trivia question a while ago about Harrison Ford in the movie Witness, where he lives among the Amish. There's a TV show I'm watching at the moment called Banshee that's got some Amish characters in it. And, of course, who could forget the scene in Schitt's Creek where David ends up with some Amish people when he runs away. Hilarious scenes. All right, question 13. What 13-letter word beginning with F means to be absolutely surprised or stunned? If you are absolutely surprised or stunned, you, my friend, are flabbergasted or flabbergasted. While we're talking about pronunciation, I'm not sure I said Amish right. Amish? Amish? I don't know. Anyway, let's just pretend either is fine. Question 14. Animals of the world. Which African animal's name means earth pig? Is it A, the wildebeest? Is it B, the warthog? Is it C, the aardvark? It is, of course, the aardvark. Now, if you're paying attention, you will know that that's the second time aardvark has been the topic of a question in the last 5 or 6 episodes, and I think that is quite enough aardvark content. Thank you very much. They already think they're important. They're the first animal listed in the dictionary. That's enough attention for the aardvark. Thank you. More clues now for the Who Am I? It's the ice skater who grew up in a poor family. Here we go. Who am I? At age 21, I landed a triple axel in competition. That's 3.5 rotations in the air for anyone that doesn't know the triple axels. I certainly didn't. No American woman had ever done that before. I went on to compete at 2 Winter Olympics in 1990 and 1994, and at my second Games in 1994, I skated to the judges mid-program in tears, showing them a broken skate legs, and was granted a rare restart. It didn't help much. I finished 8th. So not the easiest Who Am I we've ever done, but I'm sure you will know who I'm talking about by the time we finish, which we will do after question 20. For now, though, question 15. In 2013's The Lone Ranger, did Johnny Depp play the Lone Ranger himself or his sidekick Tonto? Johnny Depp played Tonto, a little bit controversially. Johnny Depp does claim to have some Native American ancestry, but it's never been definitively proven. He is an honorary member of the Comanche Nation, though. Nonetheless, some people cried cultural appropriation when he took that role. Question 16. Which dairy product is an important ingredient in the Greek dish tzatziki? T-Z-A-T-Z-I-K-I for anyone playing along at home. That would be yogurt. Bit of yogurt. Question 17 is a little bit of a more obscure history for you. By what name was Robert I, King of Scots, better known? Was he Robert the Brave, Robert the Bruce, or Robert the Bold? That one is Robert the Bruce. I didn't know too much about Robert the Bruce. I saw something online about him the other day and I thought I'd ask and see if you know anything about him. Robert the Bruce led Scotland during the First War of Scottish Independence against England. We're talking early 1300s, kind of Braveheart-ish. Question 18. Which German city, and it begins with the letter H, is situated at the mouth of the River Elbe, E-L-B-E? I think the Beatles, early career, they played there. That would be Hamburg. Hamburg. Question 19. Still alive or not so much? Dame Julie Andrews, who we talked about earlier. Is Dame Julie Andrews still alive or not so much? She's still alive. She's 90 years old. She could be around for ages yet. Good on you, Jules. I don't know if she likes being called Jules. I suspect she might not because she's a lady. Question 20, music question. Which band is known for the 1991 song Enter Sandman? It's off their first album, I think, one of their biggest hits. Big guitar riff on that one. That's Metallica. Bit of Metallica for you. Okay, final clues now for the Who Am I? Who am I? In 1994, my ex-husband hired men to attack my biggest rival with a metal baton at a training session. It was a very poorly executed attack and it all unraveled quickly. I eventually pleaded guilty to hindering the prosecution and was stripped of my national title and banned from ice skating for life. Margot Robbie later played me in a film in which my first name is in the title. I am... Now, if you don't know yet, the movie with Margot Robbie was called I, Tonya. It's Tonya Harding. Fun fact, at one point she got into boxing. She was on the undercard under Mike Tyson in a particular bout. Okay, that is the 21 questions that I promise you every episode, but we also do a 20-second question each time, and it's submitted by you or people just like you listening to this podcast. I call it the player question because it's a question that comes from a player. See what I did there? Last episode, Angela from Berkshire, and I have confirmed, by the way, that it is pronounced Berkshire, even though it's spelled Berkshire. Last episode, Angela from Berkshire said to me, which Englishman starred as Australian bushranger Ned Kelly in the 1970 movie of that name? And the answer is Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger did a bit of acting back in the 70s, played Ned Kelly. Spoiler alert, it was not well reviewed. I read a review just before where a guy said, Ned Kelly was 6 foot something and powerfully built, and Mick Jagger has shoulders like a Coke bottle. I thought that was funny. Anyway, this episode, Janice sent me, true or false, Tasmania produces more opium poppies, and she's put the Latin name in there, Papaver somniferum, used for medicinal purposes than any other location in the world. I'll give that to you again. Tasmania produces more opium poppies used for medicinal purposes than any other location in the world. Janice, that's a brilliant question, and I do kind of wonder how you know that, but that's fine. If you'd like to be like Janice and Angela, send me a trivia question. There are 2 ways you can get it to me now. Via my Facebook page, 21 Questions by Trivia Tribe. Check the logo. It'll be the same as the one on this podcast. But you can now email me direct, which a lot of you are doing. It's mike@triviatribe.com.au. I use a player question each show, but for episode 50, and this is episode 38, I'm going to do the entire show made up of trivia questions submitted by you, because I love the way people from right around the world listen to this podcast in just 38, 39 episodes. And I want to celebrate that with episode 50, hitting that milestone. But I do need to give you a little note. People are sending me the hardest question they can think of, which is going to make for a tough episode for the listeners. So I do need some easy ones. Feel free to send me some easy stuff. It doesn't have to be high concept, highfalutin stuff. You can send me stuff about your favorite TV show, your favorite movie, your favorite actor, a sporting team, anything you like really. But don't go thinking, oh, I can't think of anything hard enough, I'm not going to send anything in. I need some easy questions. Otherwise, it's going to make for a very difficult episode. I didn't think that through when I suggested this, that it would be human nature and people would send in the hardest question they could think of. I probably should have realized that. I probably should have specified I need a variety, and I do. Okay, this podcast comes out every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I love bringing this to you. I have fun recording it. I love seeing the community grow. I enjoy your messages. I do get a lot of messages from people saying that they're enjoying it and having a good time and telling me the circumstances that they're listening to the podcast in. But you know what? No one tells me what their score was. I'd love to know. If I'm making these too hard, I want to know that. If it's too easy, let me know that too. I am your servant in all things trivia. I ain't nobody's servant, man, but I love you. Thank you for listening. Catch you next time. Bye.